Whoa, 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 whoa. What is going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another live stream. Yeah, the cryptocurrency market is on fire. The cryptocurrency market is on fire. This is absolutely nuts. Yo, chat, I might have to do this. I might have to play this. It's an emergency stream. It's an emergency stream. This is exactly what I was expecting. This is exactly what I was expecting. Holy smoke. Oh my god. Oh my god. BTC, $72,000. The altcoin market. I mean, wow. XRP, $1.50. Sui, $1. Dogecoin, 10 cents. Yo, look at the drop. Look at the drop. But forget about the drop. Like, forget about percentage drop. Look at the charts. Look at the freaking charts, man. Yeah, 2026 is going to look like this. Majority of 2026 is going to look like this. There's going to be some day cap bounces. But I promise you, this is exactly what 2026 is mostly going to look like. I told you guys $74,000 is not going to hold. I told you guys forget about 74,000. Yo, I was on X. People are asking for a day cap bounce. Are you kidding me? Right? People are asking for a relief rally. Are you killing me? Yo, chat, we just had a relief rally. BTC just went from 80,000 to $97,000. That was a relief rally, and that was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we going lower. We are going lower. Yo, forget about $74,000. There's nothing that you can do to stop, something that looks like this. There's nothing $74,000 can do to stop this crash right here. Absolutely nothing. There's nothing that you can do about it. There's nothing that I can do about it. There is not Michael Saylor. Yo, I don't care if Saylor goes and buy $10,000, $10 billion worth of Bitcoin. Right? I don't care if Saylor goes and buys $10 billion worth of Bitcoin. There's nothing that he can do to stop this. Yo, this is bad right here. 2026. Yeah, it's terrible. It is terrible. And we've talked about it. Right? We've talked about it, man. This is not like all of a sudden we flipping bearish. Absolutely not, guys. If you watch my streams, if you watch my Bitcoin updates, if you watch my crypto price analysis, I told you guys, stay away from this market. Stay away from this market. It's not because we don't want to participate. It's not because we don't want to take advantage of short-term opportunities, but stay away from this market. There is nothing there for you. Right? Not right now. Look, is this an opportunity? Of course, guys. But just because you have an opportunity, it doesn't mean that we buy right now. Right? There is going to be a time to be buyers. There is going to be a time where it's going to make sense to buy crypto, where it is going to make sense to buy Bitcoin, altcoins, right? Whatever that you like, there is going to be time for that. But it's not right now, man. It is not right now. Right? If you want to participate in this market, if you want to buy something, make sure you are shorting this market. Right? The probabilities of making money in this market, it is going to be through shorting. You got to short it, guys. Short the market. It's going lower. Right? Every single one of your altcoin, I don't care what's in your portfolio, it's going lower. That includes Bitcoin. Right? We told you guys the moment we lost $98,000, it was over. The moment BTC lost $98,000, it was over. And then, 2 weeks ago, we had this relief rally right here. Guys, remember, I was bullish, right? We were bullish when when BTC broke above $87,000. And we were talking about going back to retest that 21 weekly moving average. Right? We were only bullish in the short term, not in the long term, only in the short term. And when the price got to $95,000, 96,000, I told you guys, yo, get out of this market. Start exiting this market. Right? All coins, some went up about 20-30%. XRP somewhere around the 21 weekly moving average. I told you guys, get out of XRP. Get out of this market. Right. Yo, this is bad right here, guys. This right here, yeah, this is bad. I'm going to tell you guys exactly what to do. And to be very honest, I'm going to tell you right now, man, don't do anything. Yo, cash is a position. Cash is a position, guys. You don't have to be in the market. Right? You don't have to be in BTC right now. Chat. Guys, let me relax. All right, let me relax for a moment. Let me take a deep breath. Let me calm myself down. But yo, don't listen to anyone that tells you that this is the bottom right here. Guys, bottoms, they don't look like this. Right? Yo, bottoms, they don't look like this. Right? A weekly pullback is going to give you, all right, more than enough time to accumulate before the next impulse move to the upside, of course. Right? A weekly pullback is going to give you enough time to build a position. Right? Yo, bottom, they don't look like this, guys. Look, the last time we had a weekly pullback, you had about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You had about 6 weeks to build a position. All right. Then before that, the last time we had another weekly pullback, I mean, here you had like 6 months to build a position. And then you go back to this consolidation right here. Think about this right here, guys. All right. Here you have from April 2023 until September of 2023. All right. And right here, all right, this was the bear market. You have from June of 2022 until January of 2023. Yo, you are going to have enough time to build a position. A weekly pullback is not all of the sudden, it's not all of the sudden going to put in a bottom and then price gets away from you. Absolutely. Look, maybe we get a V-shaped recovery, but who cares, right? Who cares if you miss the move? There's going to be a pullback. But this right here, this looks bad. This looks really, really bad. And I'm going to be very honest, like I'm always very honest. We more likely are going to close below $74,000. And I told you guys that already. I told you that we're looking at a market that is accelerating to the downside. So I think you close below 74,000 this week. And then, in terms of targets, I mean, Chad, you start looking at, on the weekly, you start looking at, look, we basically are retesting the previous all-time highs. But, you start looking at $66,000. You start looking at $65,000. You start looking at $62,000. These are all levels. You start looking at $58,000. And you start looking at $52,000. And also my very last one is going to be this $48,000. 49 actually, 49. On the weekly, these are the targets, man. Right? Like these are the targets that you start looking at once we get this weekly close below $74,000. So I'm telling you guys, stay as far away as you can from this market. And this is going to take time. This is going to take a lot of time. I promise you. It's not next month we turn bullish again. Absolutely not. It won't be 2 months from now we turn bullish again. Absolutely not, man. Right? Absolutely not. This is gonna take time. This is going to take time. Look, when you zoom out, when you go to the monthly, I don't know how many of you guys look at monthly charts, but this is what you need to focus on. Yo, chat, on the monthly, once we lose $74,000, yo, you don't have any other support until 49,000. Right? Forget about that 65,000, 66,000, 50 that we're looking at on the weekly. No, look at the monthly. Once you lose 74,000 on the monthly, we don't have anything else until $49,000. Right? You go back to the last bear market. This is the last bear market right here, guys. Once we lost 28,000, you don't have any other support until the previous all-time high, 19,000. And then after that, you're looking at 14,000. Okay, price didn't go to $14,000, but we got to $15,000. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, once we lose 74,000, actually, we don't have 49. We have the previous all-time high, $68,000 right here. This is going to be a level of interest, right? But after that, Chad, you don't have anything until $49,000. Yo, these are major, major, major levels, right? And I think I don't want to say definitely, but I think we're going below $65,000. All right, I really believe we're going below $65,000. Yeah, this is a real bear market. Can you imagine if you still think we're not in a bear market? And this is the argument I've been trying to, I've made throughout this entire drop, that if your bull market invalidation is below 74,000, at that point, you might as well just hold on to that position for the next bull market. Like, why do anything right now? Right? Even if your entry is in the low $20,000 range, yo, at this point, price wise, we're pretty much halfway to the bear market. Price wise, not time wise, price wise, because I don't think we get another percentage wise. I don't think we get another drop like this where BTC goes down another 40%. 40% from here, let's see where that takes us. 40% from there, you're looking at a Bitcoin around 42,000. Actually, you know what? You never know. Yo, you never know. Yeah, $40,000. I'm not going to rule that one out. But, yeah, percentage-wise, I think, most of the damage has already been done. So it doesn't make any sense, if you if you thought BTC was still bullish in that $80,000, $90,000 range, might as well just hold on to your position, because look, we're very close to the 200 weekly moving average. So why would you take profits right now? It doesn't make any sense to me. If you didn't believe that we were in a bear market the moment $98,000 was lost, and to be very honest, actually, guys, look, I attempted to go bearish when we lost 107,000, because to me, there was not a reason to still be bullish on Bitcoin, especially, how far we were into the 4-year cycle. There was not a reason to still be bullish on BTC below $107,000. But the moment the price, took out 98,000, to me, that was my final confirmation that we were officially in a bear market, and still believing that this was a bull market throughout this entire pullback and throughout this entire, this was a clear bear flag. Like, I don't know how people were looking at this consolidation and try to convince themselves that BTC was actually bullish. Like, to me, this made no sense at all. Right? This made zero sense. To still believe that this was bullish and this was a bullish consolidation, it made absolutely no sense. Considering price was way, way too far from its 200 daily moving average. And I've showed you guys, throughout the bull market, yes, a couple of times we lost the 200, but we were right there. The price really never extended away from the 200 daily moving average. Like we were always just right there. We were always tagging to the 200 moving average. We were always just right back above the 200. But this one right here, not only did we lose the 200 moving average, I mean, look at this drop, man. Look at the distance between the moving average and the price. Right? When BTC was around 80,000, the 200 EMA was at 108,000. I mean, that was crazy to me. So, you go through this consolidation right here, a very clear bear flag. Uh, you lose the flag. Excuse me, Chad. Give me a second. Give me a second, guys. But anyways, you lose the flag, you retest the flag, you get rejected, and people still believe that this was a bull market and this was bull market behavior. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Hey, listen, man. Listen, man. Jesus Christ. Excuse me. Listen, man. It's a long bear market. There's nothing that you can do about it. There's nothing that I can do about it. The only thing that we can do is, follow the trend. And right now, if you've been bearish throughout this entire crash, if every time there was a rally, you remain bearish, like you've done exactly what you were supposed to do. I'm not expecting a straight line all the way down to the lows of the bear market. There's going to be a bear market rally. But in my opinion, we won't have a really nice bear market rally on the weekly until the price is probably somewhere in the low $60,000, higher $50,000 range. Because if you're asking for a bear market rally, then it really doesn't make any sense because we just had one. Like literally, guys, 2 weeks ago we just had one. My outlook, in my opinion, is that Bitcoin is basically doing exactly this, and we're gonna have probably the same type of move. Going from 126,000 all the way down to $80,000, or even just going from $116,000 down to 80,000. I think this is exactly what we are seeing right now. It's just that people don't want to accept it. So this is a 30% drop. If you go from right here, guys, like if you go from the top, all right, if you go from the top, $97,000, a 36% drop, it puts you somewhere around 62,000, maybe around $62,000. You can ask for some sort of a day cap bounce, something very. Just think about the last bear market, guys. Like I don't know how people just, they just want the market to do what they want the market to do. Like they want their opinion on how the market should be performing. That's what they want to see. So anyways, if you think about the last bear market, look, you get the drop right here from around 69,000 down to $32,000, and then we get a rally. And then, if you look at the drop after the rally, we don't get another sort of a bear market rally until, I mean, count these weeks, guys. This is 2, this is 4, this is 6. All right, this is 8. You're looking at 10 weeks. And then you add these 2 weeks right here. You're looking at 12 weeks. Like you don't get a proper bear market rally until 12 weeks out. So even after the 12 weeks out, we go from $17,000 back to around 25,000. That was a 40% pullback. So if you think about right now, and actually if you kind of think about here, right, 17,000, we took out the previous all-time highs. This could potentially be where, let's say the price of Bitcoin comes all the way down here, guys, into the low $50,000 range. And then we probably get some sort of a rally. And then we get a final pullback. We're going to have, look, I'm not an Elliott wave, but if you think about, the Elliott wave theory, you get the first drop like this. So this is the 1. And you get the 2 that retest. The 3, all right, so drop number 3 or wave number 3 is supposed to be the biggest one. So this one's supposed to be bigger than the first. It's got to be bigger than basically every single one of the waves. So this one could be bigger. It could take us to around like 40,000. And then you get, so that's 1, 2, this is 3. Then you get 4. and then you get 5. All right, 5 is the final one where you finally put in the bottom, and then we start building a base for the next bull market. If you think about area waves and kind of look at the last bear market, this is exactly what we got, guys. You have the first wave right here. Again, I'm not an area wave person, but I'm just kind of going on the basics. And then you get 2, which is a pullback, and then you get 3, all right, a big extended move, and then you get 4 right here, another pullback, and then you get the final one, which is 5, and then we build a base for the next bull market. So I think we probably go through exactly the same thing. Even if you go back to the bull market prior to that, I think you can kind of see some, area waves pattern right here. So you get the first drop right here, guys, and then you get a retest, and then this is 2 right here. This is 3 right here, and then this is 4, and then this is 5 right here. All right. Once again, look, this is the absolute basics. I don't even know if I'm doing it right. I have never used area waves, but if I'm just looking at the count, to me, it looks like what we are going through right now, looks like wave 3. So this is wave 3 right here. After wave 3, there's going to be a bounce. Bounce is wave 4. After wave 4, and then you get wave 5, which is, putting in the bottom of the bear market, and then, bull market all over again. I did forget to mention, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you're watching, smash the like button. Yo, chat, we've been absolutely amazing throughout this entire bear market. I mean, we have been on top of it. Right? We've been on top of things, man. I mean, this is absolutely wonderful. This is wonderful to see. Stay away from the cryptocurrency market. There is nothing. I mean, I'm telling you guys right now, man. There is nothing bullish about this market. Right? If anybody says that this is a bullish market, I don't know what to tell you. And if you put money in this market, the only person you blame is yourself, because you don't have to know technical analysis to know that this is not a good looking chart. Right? You don't have to know technical analysis to know that this is not a good looking chart. All you got to look is the performance of Bitcoin since October of 2025. Are we trending up or are we trending down? And it's very clear, guys, we are trending down. Right? We're not just talking about trending down in the short term. No, we're talking about the long term. You look at the weekly, look at the monthly, man. Do you know how long this is going to take until, this thing is over? Like, you're looking at, this is 3 months right here. This is December. This is January. This is going to be February right here. So February, we probably closed the week around, let's just say 70,000. All right. So if we're going down into the 50s, you're probably looking at another 2-3 months. And then after that, you're looking at some sort of a consolidation, putting in some lows, bear market lows. And then after that, we're talking about building the base for the next bull market. Like that takes time. But yeah, oh my gosh, oh my word. All right, let me read your comments. Thoughts on AMD and PLTR? We can take a look at that. Oh, the stock market is dropping as well. And speaking of the stock market, guys, the S&P 500. Let me go to the SPY. I've seen some bearish divergences on the daily, so I do think that we are due for, maybe some sort of a pullback. Maybe 5, 10, maybe 20%. 20%, you're talking about a bear market. But anyways, look, this is the SPY right here. If you look at the RSI, guys, we are due for, I don't want to say a major pullback. Like, I don't know how big the pullback is going to be, but this is not looking good. So if I'm looking at the SPY right now, so far, there's definitely, if you look at the momentum indicator, so if you look at the momentum indicator right here, you can clearly see this is a weak market. I'm on the daily, of course. Even if you go to the weekly, man, look at the momentum indicator. Like, this is a very weak looking market. Like, this is not, from back here, all right, from around November 2025, this is basically the top. Still looking at the same bearish divergency, even on the weekly. You look at price putting in these higher highs, but when you look at the RSI is putting in these lower highs. You look at the momentum indicator. I mean, yeah, looks really, really bad. Like, we need the histogram to turn green and not red. So if I'm on the lower time, or maybe even if I'm on the daily, I'm looking at $676.44. That is a major, major support on the daily, because if we lose this, then you are basically looking at a breakdown of this entire structure, and this could potentially give us the beginning of a bigger pullback where we start to put in lower lows and lower highs. All right, something like this. So yeah, to me, S&P 500 is not looking good. Probably a good time to exit. If you're trading, to exit the stock market and just stay on the sideline and see how this all plays out. The crazy thing is this, though. The SPY haven't really lost much. But when you look at individual stocks, I believe Robinhood is already down about 40%. Where is Robinhood? Robinhood is at, oh my gosh. Yeah, this is not good. Robinhood, I'm looking at $67. That will be my target. Stocks like Robinhood, they've already experienced a major drop. Yeah, it's already down about 49%. So if the SPY is going to experience, let's just say a 10% pullback, Robinhood could potentially come back into, I don't want to say it, but somebody's got to. Like, you're looking at somewhere around $50, $40 maybe. Palantir, yeah, now looking good too as well. This is on the weekly, so we put in a weekly lower high. We just took out the lows right here. So this is now a clear downtrend. So if there's going to be a rally, potentially we put in a lower high, maybe somewhere around $160 if we do get a rally. But right now, I'm looking at Palantir coming down to around $124. Once again, Chad, let's be very honest. Look at the momentum indicator. Palantir has been very weak, since, you got to go all the way back to around August of 2025, actually. Despite this move from $140 all the way up back to $200, the momentum indicator has always been very weak and bearish, actually. You go to the monthly now. On the monthly, still, things are still looking pretty good, but maybe not for too long, because it looks like the MACD is about to give us a sell signal. So this is not going to be good. I'm looking at the momentum once again. We're no longer as strong as we were, back in 2025, early 2025, majority of 2024 and 2023. If we do start to go red, I think we should see. March, April could potentially give us our first red histogram. So if we do start to go red, that could be very bad for Palantir. And again, I don't want to do it, but in terms of targets, $124, that is a major, major support. Once that one is lost, you're basically looking at $84. You're basically looking at $67. So, I mark these areas because these are bigger time frame support. If I'm looking at 124, that is basically the highs of February 2025. Once that is lost, you don't really have any support until $84. So, yeah, Palantir, yeah, it's not looking good. There's not many stocks that are looking good right now, if we are going to be honest. Yeah, man. Chad, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Oh, BTC below $72,000. That's crazy. Oh, I just got a notification from Robinhood. Oh, that was 20 minutes ago. Yeah, and you look, we crypto people, we have to be careful, because if the stock market is going to experience a pullback, let's say the S&P 500 is going to go down about 10%, the cryptocurrency market is over. If the stock market goes down 10, 20%, Bitcoin is going back in the 30s. You don't have to like it. It's just a reality. Your altcoins, they're going to go down another 90%. Once again, you don't have to like it. It's just a reality. And, I'm perfectly fine if I'm wrong on this stuff. Just wondering about dollar cost average long term into. Yeah, look, I mean, if you have a long term outlook and your strategy is, I just want to accumulate as many shares of these companies as I can, dollar cost average is not a bad thing. But yeah, for me, I just don't like these charts, man. If I'm looking at Palantir, I absolutely don't like it. But if you have a retirement, dollar cost average, that is always the right thing to do, especially when the market is on sale like this. The only thing I would say is this: look, the VIX is only at 20, so maybe you be a little bit more patient until the VIX is like around 28. If we can go back to around 28, 30, I think you want to be, if you have more cash to put in the market, I think you get more value if the VIX is around 28. Because if the VIX is around 28, Palantir could potentially be around $70. Um, what else? I mean, AMD could potentially be back to around $150. Yo, Netflix, I mean, you're looking at $69. Basically, Netflix, this is not looking good. Netflix is losing a major, major weekly support of $82. Yeah, once this is lost, I mean, you're basically looking at 69. Unless this will be a fake out and then price. Look, if we lose 82, let's say this week we close below 82, but then next week we get back above 82, that will indicate that probably this is the low of the pullback, and then we build a base in the like over the next couple of weeks, and then price can start working its way up back again. But right now, this is not looking good. Yeah, I mean, Netflix is already down about, I think, probably 50%. Yeah, Netflix is down 40%. Holy smoke. I mean, what I would say is this, though. Something like a Netflix down 40%. Yo, like, technical analysis aside, like, this is an amazing opportunity. Because what's my website? One of my favorite website is. Give me a second. Let me look it up and then I'll share with you guys. I want to show you guys one of my favorite, uh, macro trends. This is one of my favorite website. If you guys are interested in more research tools, this is definitely one of them. So, what I did in the last bear market, I used to come to this website. Yeah, TA aside because nobody knows where the lows are. Hopefully, this thing actually works. Damn, is it actually working? I used to come to this website. Damn, did I? Hold on. Once again, hit the like button, subscribe, guys, if you're new here. Yeah, this is one of my favorite website. Oh my gosh. Jesus. So, historical returns since 1928. But this is not what I want. Just give me a second, guys. Yo, what the heck? Why is this so slow? Oh my gosh. You gotta be kidding me, right? I might actually have this on my. Yeah, subscribe, hit the like button. Let's keep the show going. BTC, major support has been lost. Oh my gosh, this is bad. All right, come on, you gotta be kidding me. Did I lose my internet? I don't think so, right? Let me get out of here. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Yo, look at Silva. Silva's gonna bounce though because yeah, it's just still bullish long term. Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me, right? Yo, Chaz, give me a second. Just give me a second, guys. I'm having some hard time with my internet right now. I'm sure this is all going to be sorted out. Just give me a second, guys. Let me see. Come on, there we go. So it should be able to work. But anyways, so what I'm looking for is I want to share with you guys one of my favorite sites when it comes to probably I don't want to say determining, but just another tool in your toolbox, another resources. Yeah, this is bad. I'm gonna get back to TA. Just give me a second. I think this is a great website that you guys can absolutely utilize. It's just that my internet, I don't know if I have too many things open. I mean, this is just, I don't want to have to shut this thing down and turn it back on again, but this is just bad. Wow, this is a sign that this is a bear market because in a bull market normally, everything is working smooth. So why is it that it's taking so long? Anyways, look, if Google gets its act right and this moves faster, I'm gonna pull up the website and share it with you guys. So let's just go back to TA. Hopefully, hey yo, what is going? What? Chat, I might have to restart this computer, so I do apologize. Chat, let me restart this and then we'll get back to it. All right, let's restart this. All right, guys, apologize. We'll get back in in less than 5 minutes. Let me restart this because this is just bad. All right. Back again, back again. I do want to apologize. I had to restart the computer, but we are back again. So hopefully this time around, I don't have any technical difficulties. But anyways, look, the website that I wanted to share with you guys. But once again, smash the like button. Yo, chat, hopefully you guys can see me. Well, you can't see me because I don't have my camera on. Hopefully you guys can see the screen. Hopefully you can see that I'm back. Look, just give me a 1 in the chat, man, if you see the screen, if you can hear me. But I want to share this one resource with you guys because this is a really cool website, and you can utilize the website when it comes to if you want to make a decision whether to buy a stock or not based on kind of historical performance. Let me see stocks. I should have it right here. So let me pull this up and then we'll get back to crypto. Yo, chat, I have time today, man. I have at least another hour to live stream unless I get tired and unless I don't have anyone else watching this. Let me see. I have the website right here. Let me pull it up. S&P 500, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. Yeah, I have it. I should have it right here. It's coming. No, it's not that one. Is it this right here? Let me see. No, it's not this. I have it right here. Just give me a second. This is a really, really cool website. Weekly, monthly. No, not that one. Yes, sir. Right here. I think I have it. I think I have it. Microtrends. Yeah, price. There we go. Right here, guys. Hopefully this thing's still free though, because if not, I am going to be mad. Cause you guys won't be able to. Yeah, you won't be able to see what. It should be free, right? Where's the search? Yep, there we go. Right here, guys. Finally, I have it up. Yo, please don't act crazy. Yo, where's the... There you go. Why is it... Yo, what's wrong with this website, man? Why is it acting up? All right, so look, this is what I used to do. I used to use this website, Marco Trends, and what I would do is, simply just come down here. So this is the returns of the QQQ in its 27-year stock history. So I would just look at the performance. All right, and what I would always look for is this. When the stock was going down, all right, what was, percentage wise, like what was a historical drop? So you can see right here the first 3 years, 30, 36, 33, 37. Okay, those were amazing times to pick up some shares. And then, you look at the basic account of the rest of it's 27 years. You don't really have many years when the stock is not doing too well. So, when you got that 41% drop in 2008, like that was one of the best times to jump in the market. When you had the 32% drop in 2022, that was another best time to jump in the market. So this is a QQQ. So you can do it for individual stocks as well. So what I would do is Netflix. So I'll just type Netflix, and then I'll look at the performance of Netflix throughout its existence. And, when you go down, this is Netflix performance, guys, since 2003 when it IPO'd. Okay, so you can clearly see, you have more green, all right? For most of the time, Netflix is positive. And then when you get these big drops, all right, like these are some of the best times to be a buyer. So if I'm looking at Netflix right now, this is 2026, man. It's already down about 40%. Is it 40, 60%, 50% maybe? So, maybe Netflix is an opportunity right now or maybe not. But, if I'm looking at this, 40% down already. Was it 40 or 50? 40% down already. So, yeah, this is like this is an opportunity right now. Yeah, let me get rid of this website because I think this is the reason my computer was slowing down. Anyways, let's get back to crypto. This is why you guys are here. We are talking about the cryptocurrency market. It's definitely not looking good. If you are not shorting the market, stay away from the market. CleanSpark. Yeah, CleanSpark is not looking well. CleanSpark is definitely not looking good. Look at the drop. Look at the drop. What is CleanSpark? Yeah, this is not good. This is not good at all. If we lose this trend line, if we lose $9, yes, basically looking at going back to around $6. And I mean, you could potentially be looking at a retest all the way back here. You could potentially be looking at, $3.45. This is not a good looking chart. Not financial advice, but Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in a position right now. Definitely not. Especially, I don't even like stocks that are below their 200 moving average. Like once you below your 200 daily, like I really don't want to mess with you because most of the time it's just headaches. Yeah, most of the time it's just headaches. So CleanSpark has lost its 200 daily. 200s right now around $12.45, and because of that, I think you're looking at a continuation of this downtrend. Only way I would change my mind, we have to get back above the 200 EMA, but especially you got to get above this $14.43. So if I'm looking at CleanSpark, yeah, I won't like it. I'm not liking the current price action. Yeah, man. Look, we spent these last many weeks. I mean, I gave you guys, so many chances. I gave you so many heads up. Guys, look, we're going to crash. We're going to crash. We are going to crash. All right? Like, so many times, when the market looks like it was looking good, you know, it's not many of us. The thing is that there's not many of us that are looking at this market and are being honest. This is BTC at 95,000, and I told you guys, look, this rejection leads us to a 50% crash. And, at the time, it sounds crazy because you're looking at BTC. BTC's at $95,000, and you're like, there's no way. There's no way we crashed 95 after, we crashed 50% after. There's no way we're not back to around $100,000. But the truth is, just look at the chart. All right, just look at the chart, man. It's not looking good. It is not good at all. So, you're looking at a Bitcoin market that is experiencing a brutal bear market. Altcoins, forget it because they've been extremely bearish. All right, altcoins have been extremely bearish for so many years now. Bitcoin doesn't need a bailout. What's going on, man? What is going on X? Bitcoin does not need a bailout. Why do we need a bailout? For what? All right, for what? Oh my gosh, my gosh, my gosh. Altcoin season. You see guys like this. You got to stay away from them. Altcoin season brewing. Yeah. Guys, don't do it. Absolutely don't do it. Look at these drawdowns in the equity markets. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. This is like altcoins. This is what the cryptocurrency market looks like. But this is a stock market. Shopify is down 37%. But FIG, I don't even know what this is down 83%. This brother right here is pumping Solana. Is going for $2,000. He's been comparing Solana to Ethereum that in 2019, 2021 Ethereum goes to $2,000, and he thinks Solana is going to do the same thing. Guys, stay away from Solana. I'm telling you right now, stay away from Solana. Solana, you get it for $50. Just give it a couple months, you guys. Look, it's already at 90. We are about to lose $90. Once you look, we already lost 95, right? Because 95 was a nice support. Yeah, right here. We lost 95. I think we're going to close the day below 95. Once you lose 95, you're basically looking at $75 at this point. That is where, maybe you get some sort of a reaction on the weekly. But even that, man, it's just, it just looks so bad. Looks so bad. So anyways, let me show you Bitcoin. It's not going to be bailed out. I mean, Bitcoin doesn't need a bailed out. That's it. Do we need a savior, guys? Does Bitcoin needs a savior? Like, I mean, actually, we already have one. Michael Saylor. Saylor, man. Yo, I'm taking a beating in MSTR, but it's just a tiny position. It doesn't really bother me. But I even I look back and I'm like, why did I even? Because I don't normally long, things that are in a long term downtrend. I normally just kind of stay away from it. The same way I tell you guys, to stay away from this stuff because it's really not worth it. Uh, Damn, I just saw something. Oh, it's 2 hours ago. 2 hours ago. BTC. Actually, let me just go to. Brother, where is your Bitcoin bailout post? Oh, right here. The Treasury says it cannot bail out Bitcoin. Of course it can't. Of course it cannot. Yeah, we don't need a bailout. We got Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor is going to announce, he's definitely going to announce, one of these days that he bought Bitcoin. And his entry is going to be somewhere around probably $85,000. But the price of Bitcoin is going to be trading somewhere around $71,000 or maybe $68,000. I mean, yeah, his entries are just so bad, man. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is at this point, guys. There's nothing that you and I can do about the price of Bitcoin. No matter how many people try to push this bullish narrative, yeah, how is that working out? How is that working out? Let it all work out. Let it all work out. Oh, man. It's bad, 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 bad. So, speaking of BTC, every single indicator, it doesn't matter what it is screaming. We're not just bearish at this point. We are extremely, extremely bearish. Bitcoin is extremely, extremely bearish. As I told you guys, look, we're going to slice through $74,000. There's nothing that I can do about this. There's nothing that you can do about this. It's just, it is what it is. We have to accept the reality. But as I said to you guys, we're going to slash through $74,000 and you more likely are looking at a Bitcoin. Yo, chat, like it or not, you more likely are looking at a Bitcoin that won't stop until we get into the $50,000 range. Like, to me, this is where, if I'm going to cry for a bear market rally, like, it's got to be from somewhere down here. Because, I'm looking at people asking for a bear market rally and I'm saying to myself, yo, where were you 2 weeks ago when we went from $80,000 to $97,000? Like, honestly, where were you? This was a bear market rally. This right now, right here, is an acceleration to the downside. Like, this is not going to stop right now. All right, on the daily, you might get some sort of a bounce. If I'm looking at the daily, price has gone from $97,000 to 71,000. Okay, maybe we can potentially get some sort of a daily rally, maybe back to around $78,000. Maybe we get something like that. If I go to the 4-hour time frame, maybe we get something. But even if I'm looking at the 4-hour time frame, I mean, we got major, major, major resistance around $79,000. Are we actually going to get a rally? But this right here actually looks very interesting. This looks like some bullish divergences right here. All right, so let's take a look at. Yeah, this looks very interesting actually. So, anyways, look, even if this is a bullish divergence, let's say we break out to the upside, I don't see the price of Bitcoin above $85,000. Like right now, I don't see us above 85,000. Even if we get something like this, I think we top and then we come back into a continuation of, this big weekly setup right here. Right? I don't think people just I don't think many people just register what a disaster this is. And I told you guys, was it yesterday when I live streamed? I told you guys that losing 80,000, getting this lowest weekly close since 2024, like this is a major setback. And you have to accept it. Like you don't have to fight the trend. Just accept the reality and move on. Ethereum. How many times did we analyze Ethereum and we predicted that Ethereum is coming back to $2,100? Look at the price of Ethereum right now, guys. $2,100. Do you want to know what's scary about Ethereum? You may think this is most likely coming to an end, but I gotta be very honest with you. No, this is only the beginning. Or maybe not the beginning, but this is in the middle of an acceleration move to the downside. So, I don't think $2,100 is going to hold. If I'm really going to be honest with you guys, I think we're coming straight down into this, $1,300-$1,500 range. Just give me some time, guys. The same way when the price was here, I was looking at 21 and I told you guys $2,100 is exactly where we're going. Just give me some time. So Ethereum is coming back here. All right. Ethereum is coming back here. And I don't see this weekly turning around anytime soon. Like, I don't care if you like it or not. Look at the daily, guys. All right. What if we ended up closing this daily candle below this $2,100 support? That is a major confirmation. But what about the weekly? What if we end up with a weekly close below $2,100? All right. That gives you a confirmation that we're coming down into this range right here. So I'm looking at Ethereum and, it is lights out, man. Like, this is bad. Let me get rid of all of that. This is bad right here. All right. Super, super bad. All right. What indicators are you guys more interested in? Look, this is the Bollinger Bands. You don't want to mess with Ethereum below this blue line. Like, this is this is a disaster. Below this blue line, you asking for trouble. Yes, there's going to be some counter trend rallies. We might get one. I don't know. Do we get one right here? Probably not. All right, we might get one right here though. Right down here around $1,300, we might get a counter trend rally. But you don't want to be a buyer of Ethereum when the price is below this blue line. All right? If you're jumping in, okay, just make sure you have a long-term outlook. But you can clearly see, every time price has been below the blue line, we have experienced a lengthy bear market. Like this one right here, guys, $3,500 straight down to $800. Look at this right here. All right. So, this is now exactly what, when you look back, you get plenty of examples. All right, let's take a look at Solana. Solana right here, guys, 91. Look, clear major resistance. I'm telling you, you probably won't see the price of Solana above this blue line for any time soon. Like, this is gonna take some time, a very, very long period of time. This blue line, this is a 20 weekly. This blue line is going to continue declining. Price of Solana probably, somewhere in the $40, $30, $50 range before we finally put in the bottom. And at some point, we are going to tighten up, all right? Like the Bollinger Bands will tighten up like this. And then we are going to start looking to bounce to the upside. You see the last bear market. Look how long it took us to build a base. So we might get something like this. This is over, I think this is like 12, 18 months of just, because the lows, we got the lows in December. We don't get the bullish breakout until October 2023. So December 2022, we get the absolute lows of the bear market. October 2023, we get the bullish breakout of the new bull market. So, yeah, man, look, you're talking about a very long time. So something like that basically are talking about like a very, very, very long waiting. And then, the base, you build the base, and then, you finally get the breakout, and then it's a beautiful bull market all over again. But I'm looking at this market that we all love, and I'm here to be honest with you guys. Yeah, stay away, guys. XRP, remember XRP retest the blue line. That's exactly what we do in every bear market. Got rejected. Look at where we are right now. So if I'm looking at XRP in terms of where is my support, guys, look, 78 cents. XRP is $1.52 right now, right? 78 cents. After that, you're looking at this entire range right here. The lowest is about 37 cents. This is not a market that is worth backing. You don't have to participate. You don't have to do anything. Accept the reality and stay on the sideline. Like you are literally looking at a market that's in a long-term downtrend. You know, the trend is not just your friend, guys. It is your best friend. Like this is not pretty right here. You know, if you have like 100 grand in the market, I mean that could be down easily $60,000, 80,000. If you got $5,000, you don't care much about 5,000. Okay, it's a completely different story. If you got real money in the market, if it's 5,000 but it's real money to you, you know you need to look after that $5,000. And the way you look after it is not dollar cost average into some worthless projects, because in the bear market, you know, bear markets exposes how worthless, you know, these tokens are. Because if XRP is wiped out, let's say XRP is wiped out for good, guys, we don't lose anything in terms of the use case of it. You know, it's not like Apple. If Apple was to go out of business, then maybe you can say there's a real damage because, you know, all the products, you know, think about the computers, think about the telephones, think about, you know, many other products that Apple is able to produce. But if we lose Solana today, guys, let's say Solana goes bankrupt, we don't really lose anything. So in a bull market, man, play the market and take your profits. In a bear market, stay away from every single one of these projects. I'm looking at Sui. We talked about Sui, and the reason I am super heavy on Sui is because this was one of the favorites in this bull market. And I'm telling you right now, Sui, you're looking at 40 cents. You don't have to like it, but you are looking at 40 cents. Right? This is a brutal bear market. Just gotta have to be patient. But Sui is going back to around 40 cents. Right? If this is the one that's going to survive the bear market, like this is where if you can get in at the right place, you can capture a good 30%, a good 50%. Because if Sui truly got great fundamentals and then it bottoms somewhere around, let's just say 9 cents, and then you get in around 20 cents. If Sui goes back to its all-time high, your entry is around 20 cents. If Sui can go back to its all-time high, you already up about 20x. If Sui can go anywhere around $10, $20, you do the math, guys. But you first have to stay on the sideline and let the market just completely reset. Otherwise, you know exactly what happens to your capital. They are all going to evaporate. All right, guys. Yeah, look, I think I'm tired. And I think I just kind of went through almost everything that I really wanted to talk about today. So I'm just going to say I'll see you guys next time. All right, peace.